I never knew my father growing up. And I was raised by my grandmother, thinking it was my mom because I didn't know any different. Well, I was at a park one day, and me and my cousin, we were playing, and I did something to make her upset. And so she just yelled out, "At least I have a mother." So I ran home and I questioned my grandmother at the time, and I found out that my father was a drug addict, and he started to beat my mother. And one night, in a drunken rage, he came home jealous, and he proceeded to beat my mother. And one fatal blow to the head caused my mother to pass away. I hated him. I wanted him dead. What kind of man would do that? What saddened me the most was that he left her there for 3 days. Well, I started looking for love because I didn't have it from a biological mother or father. So I started getting into the party scene, going out clubbing every night. I started to hide that life with my grandmother because I looked up to her, and I didn't want her to know that I was this other person. So it was like I was leading a double life. I would go out partying and drinking, and then when I'm at home, I would be in my books studying. So one day I went to the Apollo with a group of friends, and there was this lady that was there, and she was actually talking. She was standing directly behind me, and she was having a conversation with another friend, and she happened to mention that she went to Brooklyn Tabernacle. And so my friend turned around and was like, "The Brooklyn Tabernacle? Oh my goodness, they have an amazing choir." I had never heard of the Brooklyn Tabernacle at that time, so I just vowed to go. It was one Wednesday. I went the following Sunday, and I've been going ever since. I remember going into the church. Oh, the choir was amazing. It blew me away. Right there, I can just feel my heart and just God speaking to me just with their voices. And I knew that something was happening. So as I started to attend the Brooklyn Tabernacle, my life started to change. It was a process, day by day, just God doing a work in me. And there was something different. So even at that point in time, there was anger and rage and bitterness still towards my father. And God started to slowly reveal that I had to get rid of this unforgiveness towards my father. And he had led me to contact my father in prison. This is a man that I haven't spoken to or had any type of contact in over 23 years. I sort of started by introducing who I was, but not as his daughter. I kept it pretty impersonal. He wrote back, and he was excited to get my letter. And that's when he started talking about what a wonderful person I am and how kind and sweet I am. And I had to write him back and tell him that it wasn't me. There was nothing that I could do. That was all because of God. And it was God's love, that God loved me so much that he would in turn allow me to love him. And I expressed that to him. Even to get to that moment, I knew that it was God because it couldn't have been me. I wanted him dead. I did. And so that's how I know God is real. It was over 2 years. And then my letter started to change. And I went from calling him by his name, his first name, Hosea, to calling him by father, dad. And I started to love him. And I can say today that I love him, not because of anything that he's bought me or anything that he's given me. It's because of the love that God has shown me. So I wrote him a letter telling him that I forgave him. I forgave him for taking my life away. I forgave him for the murder of my mother. I forgave him for taking every single thing that I thought that I had. I still haven't yet met my father, and I haven't yet decided on the right time. But I know that God will make a way for me to meet him. One of the things that I do every single Friday, I come and I meet with the youth, and I just love them. And they tell me things, and I pray for them, and I worship with them, and play games with them, anything that I could do. I think this is my calling. I love them. And one of the things that I bring to the ministry is just encouragement, encouraging them to do the right thing despite all odds and despite so many obstacles that they may face in their life, that they can do all things through Christ. There's this song by the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir that it just ministers to me, and it's called I Never Lost My Praise. Oh, I love that song. And it's God directly speaking to me, because despite everything that I've gone through, I've never lost my praise.